Hey, Scott.
Hey Dennis, how are you?
Good. Thanks. How are you doing?
Good, thank you very much. Huge
Great.
congratulations on the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I was lucky enough to speak to you when you were on the press for Black Bag, and I asked you about the lure of that show, and you said initially you'd turn it down, didn't want to didn't want to do it. So I just wondered whether it was an easier yes this time, given that you'd had a relationship with both Apple and with Taron.
Uh, no, no, it's the same thing. I think this is my new history. If I first my first initial instinct is to turn something down, then it's probably going to be okay. It's probably going to be good. Uh, yeah, Carrie Antholis, who created the podcast Firebug, brought this to me when we were rapping Brad Blackbird together, and I listened to it, and I was like, I don't know, and then the more I thought about the pathology of the main character of that, which is a guy named John Orr, who was an arson investigator, who was also an arsonist, who was writing a book about an arson investigator, who was chasing an arsonist with details in fires that only the actual arsonist in the real world would know. I thought, wow, that's fascinating. That idea, that pathology, I like that. And I've always been interested in fire because it frightens me. So I thought, if I can do that pathology and I can make fire a character, then I'll do it. I'll do it. And it's not, we don't call it Firebug because it's not Firebug. It's inspired by Firebug. And we'll create something different. And then I told Taron the character I wanted, and he was all in before I wrote a line. And then I went off and I created the show with a group of really talented writers, and then we came back to Apple and they said, oh yeah, let's do this. And then that was that.
It really does feel. I was going to ask you about the fire actually, because there's lots of films out there about firemen, about fighting the fires and
Yeah.
kind of their job and everything else. But with this, it really, like you've said, it really does feel like a character. Was that a hard thing for you to bring to life in terms of when you were writing the scripts, or did you find it quite an easy thing to kind of describe?
No, we didn't bring it to life in the scripts. It was brought to life at production. It was brought to life by an amazing FX crew, amazing practical fire that we did on set, DPs, our directors of photography, the tone was set by a guy named Sam McCurdy, and he was the one who shot that opening fire, and
Oh, it's so
everybody,
good.
yeah, and everybody knew what I wanted. So I wanted fire to be a character, that I wanted it to look as realistic as humanly possible. And then they brought it to life. I mean, I look at that fire that opens the show and I'm like, damn, it's a hell of a lot better than what I had in my head. I'm just the writer. So, one of the things I truly love, I know people pay lip service to this, but I actually adore it about what I do, is the collaboration. I'm fascinated by people who can you can do that? No way. I love nothing more than sitting around with the stunt guys and listening to them talk about these crazy ideas they have for stunts, where I'm like, no, 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 no. But I love hearing their stories. I love hearing what they think. Same thing with the guys we have a guy who literally would send us videos every day. Not every day, but a lot of these crazy things that he was trying so that we could put them on film. So when you'd see the burning trailer that you see in episode 5, right? That guy was like, we're getting these videos from this guy going, hey, I lit it up, and then he's showing it to us. And we're like, and if you punch the glass this way, it'll happen. And we were I love that kind of stuff. So that has nothing to do with me. I just write it.
Tell me about your collaboration with Taron, because especially as a Brit, I've seen him in British TV shows coming up through Kingsman and everything else, and now he's been doing these amazing kind of serious roles, and he's
Yeah.
such a chameleon. But he still feels like he's kind of underrated by so many people. For you working with him, what's it like to see him do the job that he does and loves so much?
I think he has infinite range. That's the thing I think about Taron. And if people haven't figured that out yet, good, because I get to work with him. So I think there's very few things I can think of that he can't do. And so we both approach, I think one of the reasons our partnership is so successful is we both approach our work the same way. He doesn't really want to play a role unless something about it scares him. And I don't want to do a project unless something about it scares me. we both like to live in the shadow of potential failure, catastrophic failure. And that's how we do our stuff. And so that's why we work so well, I think, because we like tightrope walking without a net.
I think that's a good way to do these jobs. I think you get a lot more. I don't know. The creativity feels more natural when you just jump off the cliff and see how far you go before you land.
For the first 2 episodes of this show, Taron was an actor hell. I mean, he was calling me up and he's like, "I don't think I'm doing this, mate. I don't think I'm nailing it." And I was just like, "You're great. You're doing fine." But he didn't know, because he was playing somebody who was playing somebody who was playing somebody. He was really scared that it wasn't going to turn out right. And it was turning out great. And I knew it was turning out great. But I could also empathize with what he was going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, the bits I've watched so far, I absolutely love the show. So I wish you all the best with it. It's fantastic stuff.
Oh, thanks so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of it. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey!